Gordon?
Yes.
It's Mike Petraglia with CLNS Media. Welcome to Boston. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I am doing really well today.
So, I guess bring us up to speed on what the last couple of weeks have been and what really led to your ultimate decision to sign with the Celtics.
Yeah, so the last couple of weeks have been pretty crazy for me, since the season ended. And then up until we made the decision, I've probably been on the phone with my agent every single day. Mark and I have talked about this for a while now. And, at the beginning of it, we wanted to kind of narrow it down. We didn't want to go into July 1st with a lot of different teams. We wanted to make sure that we were ready and focused on the teams that we wanted, to look at. And I think we did a really good job of taking three, first-class organizations. I said in my thing for Players Tribune that, this has been one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make, and that truly is how it was. Every place that I went to, I was blown away by the meeting. With Pat Riley and Spo in Miami, they're a tremendous organization and did a terrific job. And I remember calling Mark right after that and saying I could see myself, playing for Miami next year. And then obviously go to Boston the next day and same type of feelings, blown away with the presentation and, everything about the Boston Celtics. And then turn around and fly all the way back to San Diego and meet with the Jazz. And, after meeting with them, it's a feeling of how could I ever leave the Jazz? And so it was, then you take about 24 hours and try to take some of the emotion out of the decision. And, I've gone on record to say this, but, I wanted just to make it clear how much I appreciate, everybody in the Utah organization and Gail Miller and the owners and Dennis and Quinn and all the teammates that I played with. They've all been just tremendous to me, and have the last 7 years playing for the Jazz was something that I'll never forget. And I truly did mean what I said and want to thank them for everything that they gave me. But, that being said, I think after, like I said, talking with Mark and my wife and really thinking it over, there was just something different about Boston and different about being a Celtic. And it was just a special feeling when talking about, being a Boston Celtic, and that ultimately, won me over and decided to join the Boston Celtics.
Gordon, Jared White, CLNS Media. Can you walk us through what was going on today when the report initially broke, and then going through that whole process before actually informing the teams and releasing the Players Tribune article?
Yeah, so that was definitely a hectic day. My mind was just in all kinds of different places that day. I think it's definitely fair to say that, I was leaning towards Boston, but at the same time, we hadn't figured it out, and I was going back and forth with Mark, and we were really discussing throughout the day, different reasons why or why not I should go to a different place. And I was literally on the phone with Mark when the story broke online, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm getting blown up saying, I've decided to become a Boston Celtic, and everybody knows it was all over the internet. And at that point in time, we decided we got to step away from this. I was pretty upset that had happened, and didn't feel like I was ready to say yes, I want to be a Boston Celtic. And so I had to take a step back, and we regrouped, and I think we talked about it more and more, and then finally we put out the article. But I know there's been there was a lot of reports with people saying, we were finishing up the article for the Tribune, which is just completely false. I had a ghostwriter that I was talking with throughout the course of my visits, and so I was sharing my thoughts, like I said, the whole time, and it was one of those things where once I finally made the decision, now it's like 5 minutes and we finish it up and we're ready to go. But it was definitely a crazy day, and kind of bummed how it happened, but in this day and age, that type of stuff goes on, and there's sometimes not much you can do about it.
Gordon, Kurt Cragthorpe, Salt Lake Tribune. Are you surprised or disappointed by the harsh reaction in Utah, or do you understand it?
You know what? I think that I definitely understand where a lot of fans are coming from, and like I said, the 7 years that I spent in Utah have been, some of the best moments of my life. I've done a lot in those 7 years, and I can definitely see where these fans are coming from. I think it's disappointing to see some of the threats and some of the violent responses, especially towards my family and things of that nature. But I completely can understand the disappointment for sure.
Gordon, this is Adam Himmelstock with the Boston Globe. Could you expand a little bit on your visit to Boston and just kind of what stood out and what was it about it that kind of pushed you in that direction of joining the team?
Yeah, so, we get to Boston, it's late at night, and we're greeted at the terminal by my wife and I are greeted by Brad and Coach Shrews, and it's immediate familiarity and comfort, and it brought back memories of when I was being recruited in high school by Coach Brad, and so it's started out like that, and that was just a really cool feeling to kind of be doing it over again, this time just at the next level. And I'm not a huge baseball guy, but the fact that we were able to go into Fenway, and which is just obviously a legendary ballpark, and they had the really cool video, and Isaiah was there, Al Horford was there, and that meant a lot to me that they showed up, took time out of their schedules. The off season for us guys is precious time and precious moments. So for them to show up was really cool for me. And then I guess the meetings, getting a chance to meet the owners and talk with Brad about where he sees me fitting in, how they're going to use me, how I can be a better player, how the different steps to take to win a championship, and those types of things are what really stood out to me. And then just the city of Boston. Like I said earlier, it's just a different feeling of when you're in the city, and it's such a sports crazed town, and I loved that, and so it was a special day for sure.
Gordon, it's Mike Petraglia again. What is your excitement level for playing with Isaiah and Al and the rest of the team? And more specifically, what has Brad and Danny told you about specifically how you can help take this team to the next level?
Yeah, so kind of like what I just mentioned, the fact that IT and Al were both, present during the meeting, I'm thrilled to get a chance to play with those guys. They did a hell of a job last year, and, got to the Eastern Conference Finals, number one seed in the East. And so I'm, a huge fan of their basketball games, number one. But number two, just a chance to, get a chance to kind of meet them more on a personal level, hang out with them a little bit. We went out to eat with Al for breakfast, went out to eat with Isaiah and his wife for dinner. And so I'm more than ecstatic to play with those guys. I think it's going to be a great fit. I think we can complement each other extremely well. Really, really looking forward to playing with those guys. As far as Brad and Danny and, how they kind of, what they said to me and what I think that I can bring to the table is, being a playmaker, trying to make some plays to get some other people's shots to help us kind of spread the attack around. I think I'm a versatile player offensively and defensively, and I think that'll help us to be able to have guys play multiple different positions. I'll be able to start the offense. I can play with the ball, without the ball. And I think Brad has talked a lot about that and using a lot of the guys that we have on the roster in different ways. And I know he's a genius when it comes to that stuff, both offensively and defensively. So I couldn't be more excited with the guys that we have on the team, and I'm ready to get to practice already and start learning and competing with these guys.
Thank you.
Gordon, JK, Mass5.com. Brad said that during the recruitment of you, he kind of tried to make it about now rather than what happened with you guys 10 years ago. What was it like kind of reconnecting with him after all that time, kind of being, not so connected with him? And how did you think he approached the recruitment this time?
It's kind of hard to remember all the way back to when he was recruiting me. It's such a different time. Like back when he was recruiting me, I think I had to tell my parents to get me texting on a flip phone just because college coaches were starting to text me. And so, that looking back on all that, things have definitely changed in that regard. At the time, Brad was an assistant for Butler, and then he ended up becoming the head coach, which couldn't have worked out better for me. But I think, like I said, as soon as you get off the terminal, it's just instant familiarity, just a comfort level with Brad and what he does and how he goes about things, and it was easy. It was really easy.
Okay, Gordon, Gary Washburn, Boston Globe. I know your affiliation with Brad is, obviously 10 years back when he recruited you, and then the run to the national championship game. How much did that annoy you at all that you guys were linked together? And because you became your own man, your own player, can you talk about kind of the dynamic of like being linked to Brad, but not being probably as close as everybody thought, but then kind of reconnecting again during this free agent meetings?
Yeah, I think it was something that it was a natural, like there's been rumors forever just because, I played for Coach Stevens at Butler, and so it's natural to have that link. I wouldn't say that it was ever at any time annoying to me. It definitely isn't annoying to be linked to him. He's a great coach, great guy, and just was a friend to me during those times when he wasn't my coach. He came to my wedding. Anytime I needed anything, he was there for me. And this is when he's busy, getting ready for his second national championship run. When he, finally decides to go to the Celtics, he's got a whole agenda on his plate. So I wouldn't definitely say that it was annoying. I think our relationship might have been for sure, like you said, maybe people thought that we were on the phone every day, and that's definitely not the case. We both had different things that we were doing, and obviously busy with our schedules and different things we were working towards. But then to be reunited, and like I said, just the familiarity and the comfort when he's finally is allowed without tampering with rules or anything. He's finally allowed to talk to me and recruit me. It was kind of like deja vu, and so it was a cool like how it kind of just all circled back.
Have you talked to Gail Miller yet, Gordon, and do you expect to do so soon if you haven't?
Yeah, so Gail actually sent me a text after the decision was made, a very, very nice text, and sent it to me first, and also sent one to my wife as well, Robin, and we both replied to her, and I thought that was extremely nice of her, and I've always had a great relationship with Gail and with Greg and with Steve and all the Millers, and so I think that's all that we've said and done, and again, couldn't be more thankful for what they've given me the last 7 years.
The question is, winning a championship in 2017-18, it's something you guys have discussed during your recruiting process or after it?
Yes, for sure. That's our goal. That's something that we're going to be that I'm working right now so I can be a better player to help the Boston Celtics get that accomplished. It's something that I for sure think is attainable for us. I think there's a lot of work for us to do, but it's what we're striving for, and I couldn't be more excited about that.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Gordon, thanks for your time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
guys.
Thank you, Gordon.